Hello, my name's Kerry Tolson and I'm the author of a book called Buddha's Bombs and the Babu. I'd like to read you a small excerpt from it and I hope you'll enjoy. Thank you very much. Seeing our determination, the manager relents and directs us to the outside of the Hotel Yeti, where we find a row of jeeps, the drivers lounging across the bonnets. Mal gets ready to haggle. No one is willing to play the game. The price is $40. No ifs, no buts. Mal proposes finding a minibus, the guidebook suggests, but after an hour or so looking for them and finding not one, we consider trying a taxi. The taxis seem to be just as scarce, and the two we do find aren't at all keen to drive out to Lumbini, putting forward astronomical prices, making the jeeps look like bargains. Sheepishly, we slink back to the jeep drivers and agree to the $40 price tag. Not saying a word, and without a hint of a smile, the driver nods towards his canvas-roofed jeep. We climb in, Mal in the front, Sebastian and I in the back. I hang the day pack and tripod over the back seat, resting it on the metal bench at the very rear, and settle in for the 20-kilometre drive to the sacred site. Zipping quickly through the traffic, the driver manoeuvres the jeep towards the outskirts of the town, where industrial buildings give way to makeshift huts in dry, dusty fields. Suddenly, he veers to the wrong side of the road, stops, and begins speaking rapidly to a man walking along. Unable to understand a word and trying to make out whether they're conversing with humour or seriousness, I feel apprehensive, especially when the roadside man glares at us and then fires off another rapid volley of words. Without warning, the conversation stops. Accelerating quickly so that gravel sprays out from the tyres, we take off, only to stop a few hundred metres down the road at a petrol stall. Using an old jam tin and a funnel, no petrol pump here, our driver scoops fuel from a large drum and pours it into the vehicle's tank. He only puts in 2 jam tins worth and gives a rupee note to the elderly man with a cigarette dangling from the corner of his mouth, squatting against the drum. We squeal away again in a cloud of dust. Out past the town, the road becomes quieter with the occasional passing vehicle and a scattering of people walking along its side. I find this unusual, having become accustomed to the ever-present pedestrian activity and life happenings along the roadsides. Here, the countryside is brown and small whirlywells skip across the fields. Occasionally, a farmer can be sighted, digging into the earth. Cows and goats rest under trees that are coated in a film of fine powder. I sit back, contemplating being at the birthplace of Buddha, thinking how amazing it will be to stand where a great being has entered the world. Mal tries to engage the driver in a conversation, but gives up after a couple of nondescript grunts and a shrug of the shoulders. This is something else that stands Birua apart from other areas we've so far visited in Nepal. Elsewhere, the locals wanted to talk or showed some kind of interest in us. Here, we are totally ignored. In fact, come to think of it, other than last night's over-attentive waiters, we haven't even received an unsolicited namaste, or sir, madam, you buy. Sebastian taps me on the arm. He whispers into my ear, "Mum, there's a man in the back. He's got a big knife. Look." What? Turning around, my heart skips. Sitting behind us, quiet, still, is a man, and lying across his lap, a large machete. I feel a chill and a sheet of white flashes across my eyes. Shit, where did he come from? Something in my gut wells up and my neck burns hot. I take a deep breath. Calmly I nod and smile, but it looks more like a grimace. Was he in the jeep when we hired it? I can't remember. No, I'm sure he wasn't there when I put our bags in the back. Shit. Sebastian looks at him, a wide-eyed gaze fixed on the machete. "That's a big knife," he whispers to me. "Oh my God, we're being kidnapped." Taking another deep breath, I lean forward to Mal and say very softly, "There's a guy in the back with a knife." Mal casually looks around at me. "What? What did you say?" He looks past at the man and gives a smile and a nod. "G'day, mate." I stare at Mal. "He's got a bloody knife. What are we going to do?" I fiercely whisper. "G'day, mate" is not going to cut it. "I'm sure it's fine," Mal replies slowly and calmly. Mal looks across to the driver, then nods his head, signalling me to look also. "What?" I can't see to what he's indicating. "Don't freak out, but I think the driver has a gun," he says softly. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed.